All right, day 3 is over. Let's move into day 4. Hey everybody, this is Spooky's Avenger back with another episode of the $500 5-year Rags to Riches series. And yesterday was legs and ab day, so I did that last night at 9 o'clock. So today is day 4, right? So that means we go back to push day. So it's push, pull, legs, rest. And that rest day is very important. And so is like stretching and warming up and cooling down and all that stuff, especially as you get older because your muscles, just your body in general, takes a little bit longer to recover. So you want to make sure you take care of it. And, all the lifting and ripping all the muscle fibers does nothing if they can't heal and grow back. That's not how you're going to gain mass. So you have to get your rest in. That applies also if you're walking, right? Humans as a species were designed to be able to walk, run, chase down our prey to exhaustion, right? That's our advantage as bipeds. But modern lifestyle has put kind of a cramp on our ability to run 12 to 20 miles. So just make sure you get your rest and make sure that you let your body kind of do what it's got to do. Listen to your body, and if you have any concerns, consult the doctor because they're going to be able to give you a much more in-depth, checkup than I can. I'm just on YouTube or Discord. So let me get my face down here, and I'm going to get it all the way out of the way this time because I want to walk you guys through the workout really quick, and then I'll get back into the portfolio stuff. I just wanted to make sure that these 3 days had enough focus so that I could show you the push day, pull day, leg day. All right. So last night, first exercise up was the seated leg press, and that's just a seat that I sit in. It's got a platform, and you just push it away from you. Now, obviously, there's proper form, and then there's what I see a lot of times people doing. Proper form, you want to push through your heels, and you want to use your glutes, not so much just the quads, because that's how you snap your knee off. So you don't want to do that. Obviously, if there's any knee pain, you don't want to push it. So I started with a pretty reasonable weight, given for what it was. Again, I'm not going too hard on these. I just want to get some exercise. So I started with 175 pounds. It was pretty light. So I did 12 reps. I did another set, 12 reps, easily enough. So this one is one next time I have a leg day, I'm going to move this up in weight. So that way it's more challenging. So I can't just do 12, 12, and 10. So 3 sets. Each rep was just 175. I didn't change the weight then and there, but next time I will, just because remember the goal for increasing the weights is to get to a range where you can do 6 to 8 reps before you start to struggle pretty hard. But if you could do 12 or more, that means the weight's a little bit too light in most cases. So I want to kind of increase that next time, but I didn't want to increase it because I was kind of there. All right. Then I went over to the calf extension. This was a deviation because people were just on the limited number of machines, and I obviously can't do these with dumbbells because I don't have any harnesses to connect them to my ankles. So just went over, did the calf extension. This is something you could do on stairs. You could put a backpack on, throw some weights in it, and just stand at the edge of a step and just kind of push your toes down, basically. So I did 140 pounds times 12, and then I dropped it down to 130. Did 12 of those, and then 130 times 13, and that was just basically so I could kind of get through it without necessarily having to rush, but without having to struggle too much, because I wanted to get to that other machine. And that's for the calves. Nothing crazy there. Leg extension was next. So that's basically a tricep press for your legs. That's just to hit the quads. That's the top part of your leg, the front part of your leg above the knee. Just at 130 pounds times 10, then 115 times 10 twice. And again, there's only one machine in this gym that can do that, so I kind of had to get in, get out. And then seated leg curl for leg extensions. This is very similar to doing like lunges, right? You're just exercising the quad, whereas lunges also work the calves and the glutes and all that good stuff. But I just wanted to focus on the quads because those were already hit on the seated leg press, and I hit them again at the back extension, but we'll get to that. So leg extensions were out of the way, and that's kind of just you just straighten your leg out. There's weight, there's a bar down by your ankle, and you just push your feet away from you and straighten your leg out. Okay. Seated leg curl is the opposite of that. That's more like just think of it like a bicep curl where you're pulling your legs in, you're pulling your ankles towards your butt. Did 85 pounds times 12, 85 pounds times 10, 85 pounds times 10. So again, these are pretty moderate weights. Like I'm not a professional weightlifter. So if you are lifting less than that, don't feel bad at all. It's just about you, your body, not your ego. So don't let the numbers get in your head. I'm just sharing what I do so that you guys can see how I increase them over time. And I use the rep count to dictate which ones get increased. So for example, calf extensions, I'm pretty maxed out on those. They're pretty easy. I was basically flying through those at 140, 130 pounds. So next time I do them, they'll be a heavier weight. Okay. Then the abdominal, that's just, you can do this on the floor. You could do crunches. You could do V-hips. You can do any number of abdominal exercises. Just want to hit the rectus abdominis. That's the six-pack muscles. I just used a machine that allows me to kind of put my elbows on a thing and pull it down. And the trick, obviously, for that is not to use your elbows or your lats for that. You just want to engage your ab muscles and use just your ab muscles to lean forward, basically. So I used a 70-pound weight times 12. That was pretty easy, so I bumped it up to 100 times 10. And I was not feeling so hot, so I bumped it back down to 85 pounds. That's just because I ate late, and it was pretty acidic food, so I didn't want to push myself. Then I went over to the back extension, and that's basically just where you sit on a seat, you put your feet up on the rack, and then you just kind of lean up. Think of it like a deadlift. You're just straightening your back out, basically. And when you do this, or at least when I do this, again, I can't give you medical advice. I like to pinch my shoulder blades together and keep my back straight, and then just push back through my shoulder blades. That way you're not curling your back, because if you curve your back and you try this, you're gonna hear some snaps probably. So you don't want that. The goal is to hit the erectus muscle and the glutes for this one, mostly the erector. So 205 times 10. That was pretty light, so I did 205 times 12, and then I was kind of in a rush, so I did 205 times 10 again just to get off the machine. I would have liked to do some torso rotation. There is one particular machine at Platinum Fitness that I do like, and that's just you get these grips, you keep your elbows up, and then you kneel on that platform, and then you just turn your upper body. It's pretty good. It's good for resistance. It's really hard to emulate that on the floor. You can always use ground rotations. You can use Russian twists. You can use mermaid sit-ups. You can do all kinds of variations, but I just like having that weight resistance. Though I have to disclose here that putting weight resistance into your spine rotation is not always a healthy choice. So you got to be careful if you do that. But I banged out some Russian twists after the PRT thing before all these other exercises. So I was already kind of hit the obliques a little bit, just not as much as I'd like. Towards the end, towards these, the back extension and the seated leg curl, where I'm pulling my knee or my ankles in, my right knee started to get a little sore. It's not, it wasn't a sharp pain. It wasn't clicking or feeling like it was going to pop out of socket or anything. It was just a little bit achy. And, we just had snow and everything too, so it's probably just that and old. But again, I don't want to push any physical injury, so any joint pain, I immediately put something in place to protect myself, because if you take a joint injury for the sake of pushing for your ego, that's counterproductive. You're going to be not exercising for a long time. So rather than dealing with that when it happens and dealing with triage, I'd rather just prevent it and just kind of listen to my body. So I'm just letting my body tell me when it's okay to push and when it's not. And it's working out okay so far. So my knee feels great today, so I don't really, I don't care. I don't regret it. So looking at the portfolio again, OCGN here is still in that sweet spot. So the share price has moved up, okay, but the price hasn't moved up enough to where it's worthy of assignment. So the buyer is in the red on his contract, but my share price is up because it's still gone up, just not aggressively enough. And this is exactly where I want to keep the price. I want to keep it below the threshold of profitability for the buyer, and I want to keep it so that it's profitable for me in terms of share appreciation. So I want the price to go up, but not too far. And that'll allow me to collect more and more and more of this contract. This morning, I think it was like 50% up or something at open because the price dropped down to like 8 cents. That was down here. And that's the idea. I'm just going to wait till I get about 90% of this contract, and then I'm just going to close the contract side, keep the shares. And ideally, the share price is up after that, and then I could just sell the shares if I want, or sell another covered call at a different strike price and just repeat the process. I'll probably do that. And kind of the same thing with Neo here. I have this leap, this long-term leap for contracts. That one kind of pulled up a little bit today, but the covered call on my other account, let me just pull that up really quick. I should just keep this up and ready, but I don't. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so if I pull this over here, you can see I was just looking up the formula for that for a member. If you look right here, you can see that the share appreciation has gone up, so it's up a total of $15 now. It's moving around a little bit, $15, $16 on the 100 shares that I bought, but the call that I sold, the covered call, is reduced in value because the price is going up. So that the actual contract is gaining value, but my position is short in it. So I want the contract price to erode. I want it to expire worthless so that I keep all that premium. But if the share price goes up, the contract will become more valuable, which means I'll get to keep less and less of that premium. Now, in this scenario, the only time I'm going to get assigned on this is if the price moves up aggressively enough for it to be profitable for the buyer. So in this case, it's currently profitable in terms of speculation on the contract, but it's not assignable yet because it's not $6. So if this goes up and this contract remains red in my portfolio, there's a likelihood that I'll get assigned, which is okay because I'm okay to sell these shares. If the price goes up but never clears $6, the contract will expire worthless and I'll be back in the green again, and I'll eventually collect 100% of the premium and keep it. So that's kind of how that works. I know we've touched on covered calls quite a bit, but I still get some questions, so I want to make sure everyone's on the same page. As far as the other positions, everything's just kind of chilling. JP Morgan's up, Johnson & Johnson up, SFE still hasn't been bought out. Schwab is up, O is up. We got the OCGN covered call, and then we've got Maine here is up. Ladder's down, but it's pulling up a little bit. It was 7 or 8% down, and now it's down to 5%. The Leap is okay. That went up and then a little bit back down today. Clip and Tesla obviously are down, but they're on their way up as well. So nothing crazy going on. I'm not doing any insane speculation or any of that stuff. Just kind of going day by day and focusing on my work and trying to engage with members when and where I can. And then the passive income is just kind of taking care of itself. So, all right, I will see you guys next time. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully this all makes sense. I'll stop rambling about the gym in future episodes, but I want to make sure that at least those 3 breakdowns were shared with you guys. So I'm also going to open up that channel so you guys can share your own progress in there. And I think that'll help kind of keep everybody accountable and motivated. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you all, and have a good weekend.